Good evening. Oh my goodness. Wow. Here we are. We find ourselves just a few days before Tisha Bav, the saddest day on the Jewish calendar. Find ourselves in what we call the 9 days, which is the more intense time of mourning, which is inside of the 3 weeks, which is just a general mourning for the Jewish people, communal mourning the Jewish people have taken on. And we feel it. We feel it. We say, Misha Nichnas Av, when the month of Av enters, Mima'atim B'Simcha. We lessen our joy. Our joy is toned down a little bit. And my family, we find ourselves in an interesting place because this is the time of the year that we're off. We have a little break now to rejuvenate ourselves. And we were talking about what kind of trips to do. Do we do this kind of trip and that kind of trip? Batting cages or baseball games or amusement parks. And it's just not the right time for it. And, the kids have been very good about it, good discussions about it. And even when we go on a trip, it's super exciting moments. There's a little piece that just we try to feel. We try to mention it and feel that as much as we're having a good time and we have the amazing, beautiful blessings of being in America and being in the world of there being, plenty of peace, even though there's so many horrible things, right? Just like we're always thinking about Israel, we're thinking about our Israel and thinking about our brothers and sisters and our hostages. And now we're thinking about those that were attacked in Syria. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we think about them all the time. So now we try to get ourselves to a place where we're going to think a little bit or a lot of it about the fact that all the tragedy in the world is due to the fact that we don't have the Beis HaMikdash. We don't have the temple on Temple Mount. We don't have Eretz Yisrael, Israel, in the way that it ultimately could be and should be, and what that would provide for the world. It's just we're missing that piece. And that's what we think about now. Now, there's a famous comment made by the Talmud that in every generation, in anyone's generation, that the temple is not rebuilt, it's as if you destroyed it. It's as if we destroyed the temple ourselves. What do you mean I destroyed the temple myself? I haven't done anything to destroy the temple. And the answer is that the reason the temple was destroyed is because of sinas chinam, baseless hatred, is because there was this lack of love and appreciation and concern and sensitivity towards other Jews. That's what we were missing. That's what was going on during the times of the temple, times of the Beis HaMikdash, that the Hashem said, look, you're not connecting to me in the right way. You're not connecting with each other, my children, in the right way. You got to learn your lesson, and I'm going to send you out into exile, and out there you're going to have to find ways to reconnect with each other and appreciate each other. So the fact that we're still out here means that we have not stopped doing that. We have not started to appreciate and be more sensitive to each other. We're just not doing it. Perhaps we feel like we are, and which means that we need to be doing more, right? What are the first things we think of when we see somebody do something that bothers us, right? Right away we're judging. Our knee-jerk reaction perhaps is to say, oh, I can't believe he would do such a thing. What a horrible person, as opposed to tapping into the world of our imagination and saying, oh, you know what? Maybe something happened. Maybe something was going on. Who knows? They had something else major going on that they couldn't think about. Just this week, we have a lot of family in Baltimore right now, and one of the families is going through something, and you're trying to talk to them, and their mind is someplace else, right? They're not trying to be rude. They're not trying to be thoughtless, right? They're not trying to be unsensitive, right? Or egocentric. They really have something major going on, and they can't think about anything else, and they're spaced out, it seems, but they're not. Their brain is moving in a million miles an hour, and their heart is throbbing. And so that's a good thing for us to keep in mind as we're living in the same house together. We're all trying to enjoy each other's presence, but they've got stuff going on, and we have stuff going on. No one means anything bad by it. So what do we do? Are we dam l'kaf zechus? Are we judging others favorably? Are we thinking that maybe there's something else going on? What's the other side of the story? What happened over here? What's going on? I just read, my son and I were studying a piece of the Talmud, and it talks about one person is walking, and they're holding a pot on their shoulder, and the person behind them is also walking with a pot, and the guy in the front trips, and he falls, and he breaks his pot, and then the guy behind him trips on him, and the Talmud says, of course he's responsible, right? Or we say, 1 second, what do you mean he tripped? He didn't mean to hurt the guy behind him. And the Talmud offers one or two ideas, but you see the Talmud is telling us, showing us, the Gemara is showing us, think a little bigger over here. What really happened? The guy in the front, why did he fall down? Was it on purpose? Was it by mistake? Did he have enough time to warn the guy behind him? He should have thought about the guy behind him, even though he was hurt on the floor. Should have gotten up faster, right? There's so many calculations that we need to be thinking about when it comes to the way that we deal with others and share space with each other and feel each other's pain and feel each other's agony. This past Shabbos, I had the tremendous, beautiful opportunity to hear from one of the greatest rabbis in the world. One of the greatest rabbis in the whole world happened to be in Baltimore this week when I was visiting, went for services on Shabbos morning. And this rabbi, his name is Rabbi Usher Weiss. He should be well, and he should be able to share his love and his joy and his appreciation for every Jew and all the Torah that he stands for, and this the beautiful smile that he has. And he shared with us a tremendous idea. The Talmud tells us, the Gemara tells us, how should one go ahead and mourn over the loss of the temple, right? Of the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. It's been so long. We don't even know what the Beis HaMikdash is. How do you mourn for it? And the Gemara says, oh, you mourn the way that Rabbi Gamliel was crying over his neighbor. What happened to his neighbor? His neighbor, he had a lady, family that lived next door to him, and they shared a wall. And every night the lady would cry over the fact that she had lost a child. And she would cry and she would cry. She never could get over it. And every night Rabbi Gamliel would hear her crying, and he would sit and he would cry also. And he would cry and he would cry. So that's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says that's how we're supposed to mourn over the loss of our being in exile. What's going on over here? Rabbi Usher Weiss wanted to understand. The mother crying, that we understand. She lost her child, of course she's crying. What exactly is Rabbi Gamliel's crying? What's going on over there? So he explained that for strife to happen, for horrible things to take place, for there to be challenges in the world, these are all a piece or partly because of the fact that we don't have the Beis HaMikdash. We don't have the same awareness and presence of Hashem, of God in our midst. We can't see it, we can't feel it. We don't, unless we look really carefully. We don't see it, we don't feel it in the same way. That close connection with God it's not there. We're separated a little bit, or a lot of it. Right now is a time where we can be a little closer. We can sense God a little bit more. He's not sitting in his castle, in his palace, upon his throne. He's now off the throne amongst the people. We can feel and connect with him a little bit more right now. That's what's special about this time. But the fact that tragedy could take place, that's because we don't have the Beis HaMikdash. That's because the world is not where it's supposed to be. We need to work on that sensitivity, right? Work on that meter that we have. Our sensors, our radar system of feeling and seeing and recognizing where others are in pain and praying for them. I drove by, I drove by something this week, and it said something about how something was donated as a gift for someone that they should feel good. And boom, it said, please say a prayer for them. So I said a prayer for them. As I was driving by, I saw this sign. I said a prayer for them. I said a quick little chapter of Tehillim for them. I drove by a house of someone that I know, and there was an ambulance in front of their house. So I tried to call them, see if everything's okay, but I couldn't get through to them. So what did I do? I said a little prayer of Tehillim, of Psalms, while I was driving. I said some Psalms. Instead of listening to some other garbage on the radio or on the whatever it is, the podcast, right? I stopped for a moment and said some prayers. This is what we need to do, what we need to try to do. Like we discussed last week, even if it's not 100% real, right? We need to do it even though it's not 100% us yet. We need to strive for that. We have to want to be sensitive enough for others. And there's a tremendous, beautiful lesson from the Torah portion. We start the 5th book of the Torah, the 5th book of the Chumash, the 5th book of the 5 books of Moses, Devarim. And it opens up with the speech that Moshe gave to the Jewish people all the way at the end of his life. He gave a very special speech. It said the commentaries tell us that he was saving his rebuke of the Jewish people for right before he was about to pass away, because hopefully they would listen. Also, it was his last chance to share with them, his love, his care, his concern, his want for them to succeed, to be their best selves, to accomplish their mission in life. So Moshe shares rebuke, but the way that he does it is so beautiful. The way that he does it in a masked fashion. He doesn't say straight out what the Jewish people did wrong. He hints to it. So those that need to know it will know what Moshe is talking about. But it's said with a softer tone, right? It's softer in that way you mask it. It's like helping somebody else understand what they did wrong instead of telling them about it. It's the same type of thing as giving somebody a little bit of rebuke, but giving them a little bit of love beforehand, or a smile, or hold their hand, or pat their cheek as you tell them what they need to be doing better. Massage their shoulders as you tell your child that they need to do this a little bit different, or be more sensitive and more careful. Or, I love you so much, why'd you just step on my toe? Right? That type of thing. This is what we can do during this time. This is what we need to do during this time. We have a few days till Tisha Bav. Let's try hard. Let's think of somebody that we struggle with our relationship with them. Let's think of somebody who we just don't talk to so nicely. Every time we get in a discussion with them, it turns into a fight. Either stay away from them, which is one step. It's not great, but it's one step. Or maybe we could find a way to start thinking about them in a better fashion. There was somebody, I'll say this carefully because I don't want to give away who it is. Nobody knows them, but perhaps somebody who listens to this will know them. At one point in my yeshiva career, there was somebody who they irked me. Literally, they would walk into the room and my blood would start to boil. Not only because I have anger management problems, but because just everything about them, everything they said, they did, the way they said, the way they talked, the way they dragged their feet. I mean, I could write a whole paragraph, a whole chapter about the things that this person did that drove me nuts. And it made me feel horrible about myself. I'm like, I'm not a bad person. I don't hate people. I don't dislike people. I try to be friendly and nice to everybody. But this guy would walk in and literally it would just change my whole tone, my whole mood. I would get into a very bad place and I couldn't do this anymore. So I approached my rabbi about it. I said, Rebbe, I can't keep doing this. Not just because I feel bad about myself. It's because I feel bad about the way that I'm dealing with somebody else. I don't do this to other people. I try really hard not to. So what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Help me, please think of a mechanism of how I could solve this problem. So my Rebbe said to me, he says, Noach, if somebody walked into the room that really had an instability or some sort of handicap, right, or had Tourette's or whatever it might be, would that person bother you once you were informed that that person had some sort of challenge or sickness or handicap, whatever it might be, disorder, right? Would that bother you still? I said, of course not. What do you mean? I feel bad for them that they have this problem. He says, this individual happens to be that they have a challenge, they have an emotional stability challenge, but even if they don't, use that mechanism as a way to say about somebody else to help you get into a good place, right? Or see it about yourself that you need to be more sensitive because that person is going through a challenge. It's going through a challenge, and then you need to recognize that person has that challenge, and now you need to deal with them in that fashion. And this helped me to be more sensitive, to think of it a little bit different. I'm talking about when you really have a problem with somebody, a real problem. We can use mechanism, find ways to love them, to care for them. And sometimes that's writing a list about the great things that they do. Sometimes it's about finding a way to go ahead and change the way you look at them. You can't change them, but you could change the way that you look at them and the way that you deal with them, right? That's something that you can change. We can change ourselves. We can change the way we deal with things. We know ourselves better. And sometimes that's going to be to avoid it, to stay away from there. Alcoholics don't walk down Beale Street unless they really have a reason to be there, or they have a friend that's protecting them, they have sponsors with them, whatever it might be. You don't go there. So stay away from the people that drive you crazy. Don't do it. And work on ways to love people and to see the great things that they do already. My blessing for us is that, God willing, we should think a little bigger, right? Try to practice our imagination skills a little more, right? Be a little more sensitive. Be a little more mindful and thoughtful about how we're going to deal with scenarios that are challenging for ourselves in regards to how we deal with others. We need to love everybody no matter what. We need to work on that. Really feel the love. It's amazing what a smile does. Real or fake. It's amazing. It's really tremendous. So, may we merit to go ahead and start to be more sensitive, to feel that, God willing, if you're fasting, you should have a meaningful, successful fast. If you're not able to fast, spend part of the day being serious, giving some thought. We'll send out some resources. If you want to know things you can do, there's a million videos out there to inspire ourselves. So many great things that are out there. And I'll plan to share lots of things with people to watch. Feel free to reach out. Look at old past videos about Tisha B'Av that we've shared in the past. May we merit that this year should bring us only peace and love and care and concern for others. We should have our temple back where it needs to be, so there could be world peace for everybody. Everyone can get back to a healthy place. We can work on becoming our best selves, the best version of ourselves, have a tremendous Shabbos, have a meaningful Tisha B'Av. Hopefully this year we're just going to travel to Israel and celebrate together in the Holy Land. And we won't have to fast this year. Let it be a feast of joy, of beauty, of excitement, of community, of unity. It's such a tremendous opportunity. Let's make sure we use it properly. Have a beautiful Shabbos. Thank you so much.